In the meantime, the president of Sonoma State University is on leave following a controversial email detailing a pact made with pro-Palestinian campus protesters.
NBC Bay Area's Conejero Saab. She's live for us over at Sonoma State. And Ginger, so the president says that he was actually trying to reach an agreement with his students, but that's not how this is actually playing out.
That is correct, Marcus. Laura, that is not how this is playing out. President Mike Lee says he was trying to find that agreement with student protesters who were camped out here at Person's Lawn on campus. Those student protesters were here for weeks protesting the Israel-Hamas war. The encampments were cleared because President Lee came to several agreements with the protesters, agreements that were detailed in this letter dated May 14th and sent to the school community. There, Lee said he joined discussions about student demands, and as a result of those discussions, he says the parties reached several points of agreement. Those include establishing an advisory council of students for justice in Palestine, an academic boycott of Israeli institutions, disclosure and divestment of Sonoma State University Foundation investments, and calls for a ceasefire. Now, many are expressing issues with the letter, including the director of the college's Center for the Study of the Holocaust and Genocide, who tells a Press Democrat he was, quote, completely blindsided and finds the provisions made highly problematic. In a statement, CSU Chancellor Mildred Garcia said Lee's statements were sent without appropriate approvals. She goes on to say, in part, quote, "I want to acknowledge how deeply concerned I am about the impact the statement has had on the Sonoma State community and how challenging and painful it will be for many of our students and community members to see and read." Now, in response, President Lee said, quote, "In my attempt to find agreement with one group of students, I marginalize other members of our student population and community. I realize the harm that this has caused, and I take full ownership of it. I deeply regret the unintended consequences of my actions." Now, those actions led the CSU Chancellor to place Lee on leave for insubordination for an indefinite period of time. This morning, we found several messages in support of Mike Lee written on one of the sidewalks along Person's Lawn. You're seeing some of that video from before 6 o'clock this morning. Among those messages written in chalk include "Justice for Mike Lee" and, quote, "We're not done yet." However, those messages didn't stay around for too long. A crew was out here early to scrub and wash the chalk away all the way before 6:30 in the morning. It has been a quiet morning here on campus so far. No sign of protesters possibly coming back to set up encampments here on Person's Lawn. We are just 3 days away from commencement, so this is all happening while professors, students are getting ready for really the end of the year. I was told off camera there are other universities within the CSU system that have also released statements about divestment. I was told off camera that President Lee's statements really set itself apart because of the specificity of those agreements made with those students. We're live in Sonoma County. Conejero Saab, NBC Bay Area News.